I spend my whole working week doing menopause. That's all I do, Monday to Friday, and often on a Saturday and a Sunday as well, actually, doing menopause stuff. I go into workplaces, I have an NHS clinic, a private clinic. Women used to die around the time of the menopause, you know. It's only in the last 100 years or so that life expectancy has improved so much that as women, we can expect to live way beyond the menopause. In fact, some women will spend more time after the menopause than they did before. But then we've also got this demographic change, which is where our generation of women now are at work. So over 70% of women now work outside the home. The days when you sat in the coffee shop and talked to people, you know, and just did the washing and the ironing, those days have gone for most of us. Nearly half the workforce is female now, and that's changing increasingly so that the workforce is likely to become more predominantly female and also an ageing population. So it's really important that we talk about this in a work setting as well. When I see women in clinics, they say, I'm not looking to turn back the clock, I just need to be able to do my job. I need to be able to sleep, I'm not myself, and the most common phrase that all of us, I'm sure Diane hears this all the time, I just want to be back to normal. Some of the terminology that you'll hear bandied around menopause, the menopause itself happens at the average age of 51, but is absolutely normal 45 to 55. 51's the average, 45 to 55, absolutely normal. Post-menopause, when your periods are stopped, pre-menopause, before you have it, and then this awful period called the perimenopause, which many women can last many years, decades sometimes. You can start experiencing menopause symptoms 10 years or so before your periods will actually finally stop, and they can continue for 10 years or more once your periods have stopped. Night sweats, hot flushes, that's the most common. Almost every woman gets those. They might get them much milder than others, but many women will get a feeling of heat at the back of the neck, feeling a little bit sweaty here, having to take layers off. Headaches, tiredness, joint pains. Women don't realise some of these things are due to the menopause. Palpitations, feeling quite anxious, don't understand it. Why am I suddenly feeling a bit anxious? Intimate discomfort, we've already talked about, vaginal dryness. Bladder, having to go to the toilet, having to get up at night when you haven't done before, having to get to the toilet, maybe the toilets are a bit far away, you don't quite make it, those symptoms. Memory, concentration, feeling low, and just feeling irritable, all very common menopause symptoms. And we know from studies, this particular study showed that 40% of women said that their menopause had had a negative effect on their work. Interestingly, almost the same number said it had no effect. And this is another reason why we shouldn't just assume that everybody's going to struggle at the menopause. We just need to make sure that those that do have some sort of support network in place. So we've talked about these physical symptoms, but actually these are the ones which seem to affect women most at work. Temperature is an issue, and if you're in an office where you don't control the temperature, that can be a real issue. But actually these are the things that women tell me are the most difficult. Trying to concentrate in a busy office, feeling very tired, not sleeping night after night after night, sometimes month after month, year after year. And you start to wonder, actually, can I do this job? You start to put yourself down, and you start to feel that actually your confidence in yourself is suffering, and then the people around you start to see that too. So I like to say that this is my pyramid. We need everybody, and this should say men as well. All men and women in a workplace need education. If we do that, then women will receive the support that they need if their symptoms are only minor. And actually, if we get it right at those two levels, there'll be far fewer women who need HR and occupational health and adjustments, because actually we'll have got it right at the bottom, and women will be able to continue their work without needing all of those interventions that they may need to put in place otherwise. So these are all on the leaflet, which is in your packs, and places to go for resources. And if you are a healthcare professional, there's those things as well. Thank you very much.